Welcome to Make a Path Presents. My name is Ronnie Hayes, and today, let's talk The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 4, Predictions. I think this episode is called Here's Not Here. I don't know. That's a weird title. Or Here's Not There. I think it's Here's Not There. I gotta look that up. Anyhow, so far we do know that this is going to be a 90-minute Morgan standalone episode. A lot of people are calling it a bottle episode. However, to be clear, it's a standalone. The biggest difference in a standalone, before you start saying, hey, it's bottle episode, focuses usually about one thing and da-da-da-da. Standalone means this episode can stand alone outside of everything, and considering the circumstances of the fact that we're flashing back and going on this journey with Morgan after, I'm presuming after when Rick Grimes left him in Season 3, up until when he decided to go looking for Rick and his gang in the, about Season 5, I would say. I'm not saying we're going to see him immediately after Rick and then follow right up to where it would be cool to see him getting his gear on and then venturing out, and then it's like, oh, it pieces it together. They don't have to do that, though. They could just pretty much show how he changes as a person. It's a 90-minute episode, so keep in mind, guys, a lot of people always overhype these episodes. When they do 90-minute episodes, a lot of times, and I mean a lot of times, they just want it to breathe. They're not really jamming, an overabundance of action and craziness. Negan's not coming, okay? Let's put it out there. 90 minutes is because they want the scenes to breathe. There's going to be a lot of character focus in this episode. Before we go any further, though, I do want to let you guys know that this is a spoiler-free channel. We do our best on this channel to keep spoilers out of the comment section. I don't think it's necessary for anybody to be talking about spoilers on this channel, about leaks or the leak script or filming spoilers. Anyway, I do apologize for rambling, but let me let you guys know. I think this episode will basically play out with Morgan talking to the wolf that he knocked out, the one with long hair that we saw from Season 5. And not only because that was the last we saw of Morgan in Episode 2, it's the simple fact that that would be a very good starting off point to push this story into the flashbacks. If Morgan, he used to be a murdering, killing, robbing man, and then he's changed since then. If he is taking that blue bag, let's say there's food in it, and he takes it to the wolf that's tied up and he's a prisoner now, and they sit down, and I'm not saying Morgan is going to talk to this dude as if he can change him, like, I want to sit down and I'm going to change you, and when you leave, you're going to be a changed man. I believe Morgan's going to just happen to speak or talk about who he was. Maybe the wolf asks him some things. I think that's how it's going to start. Organic, not forced. So then when Morgan starts talking about it, or again, it's common to see a character maybe just look off and then we flash back. However they do it, that will jumpstart the flashbacks. Then we're going to see Morgan in the Season 3 gear. We do see him rounding up the walkers. He's burning the walkers. His outfit in the one preview looks identical. He has that little army fold-out bed that he did have in Season 3. So it looks like we are going to get some shots of him in his old neighborhood. I wouldn't believe we're going to get a lot of them, because I did hear there was some filming problems there as far as vandalism and shit like that. So I don't know if we're going to get a lot of Morgan in his old neighborhood. But I basically think it's going to break down between Morgan in his own neighborhood. He comes across another person. It's going to be kind of like The Odd Couple. We already seen Morgan is robbing people. He doesn't want to be around people. He's aggressive. He's going to meet this cheesemaker, whoever this person is. I think it would be neat if it was a female. That would be a nice little twist on things. But whatever the cheesemaker does, it has a profound effect on Morgan. It changes him. It would be neat to see the Peacemaker is the one that has that book that Rick finds in Morgan's possession, the Peace Book. And later on, eventually after the cheesemaker gets through to Morgan, changes his perspective, and has him view the world in a different light, something would happen. Maybe even the cheesemaker ends up sacrificing his life or trying to help Morgan and dies in the process of doing that. Therefore, Morgan inherits the cheesemaker's staff. The book, the cheesemaker could even teach them with the staff, and then once he dies and passes away, however that thing happens, Morgan will inherit his things, his book and his staff and his way of life and everything like that. And then we bounce back to the wolf in Morgan in present time. And I do believe it would be interesting if Morgan is trying to, keep with the all life is precious motto, but let's say either in the end of this episode, after he shows how he changed through his flashbacks, I think it would be very powerful and dynamic if the wolf does something that forces Morgan to kill him, like no matter what. I'm one of those kind of ordeals, and that would be pretty neat. However, that might not be the direction they want to take for Morgan in the story, and it might not move that quickly in this episode, so that wolf could probably last for another episode or two, and I don't think we're going to get anything else outside of Morgan and the wolf and his flashbacks, primarily because they said this is a standalone episode, and standalone episodes, again, in the name of that, they are supposed to stand alone. So I don't think it would stand alone if it had pieces of what happened with Glenn or what happened with Rick. He's trapped in the RV. So I don't think we're going to see any of Glenn or Rick or anyone else until episode 5. Maybe even episode 6 longer for Glenn, who knows. But I think it's going to be a Morgan-only episode, in my opinion. I don't think we're even going to see any hints of anything else. But listen, that's what I think we're going to see primarily in this episode. I am real excited for it. No, I do not believe the timing is off. I think this is the perfect time, and the reason for that is we have everything going on in this wide scope story, the big story. We have everything playing out. It would be really awkward to take Morgan's story, put it in, episode 2's position, episode 3's position, and then when you play it out over the backdrop of the bigger story, it would be out of place, because now we're seeing his flashback, and we don't have as many questions if we saw him running around with Carol in episode 2, if they move them around. See, am I making any sense? I think the placement is perfect. That's all I want to say, because I think after we see Morgan's flashback, we're going to get a heavy concentration of Morgan and his philosophies interacting with Rick and the other people in this world, and I think we are going to have a better understanding of Morgan, and it will help us understand these scenes that we're seeing before us when they're all coming together. And we're going to be able to see Morgan change and grow, hopefully, if it does play out that he's forced to kill the wolf, because I think that would be pretty neat. Listen, I ramble too much. I am really excited for this episode. Again, if you got any thoughts or ideas or predictions for not only this standalone episode, put those in the comment box, but also if you want to talk about Glenn, and better yet, Rick. I've been neglecting Rick. I've been meaning to talk about what Rick's going to do. He's trapped and, he's in trouble. So if you have any thoughts and ideas and predictions about that, put those in the comment box. And please, please, please keep everything that is every spoilers, keep them out of here. This is a spoiler-free zone. No, I am not talking about the comic book spoilers. Just tag those. And no, if the episode actually airs on TV, you are free to talk away. Again, depending, just use your best judgment when you need spoiler tags. I'm only talking about people that leak shit early or anyone that goes on the spoiler sites. Please do us that favor. Work with us here. For the most part, you guys are absolutely fantastic. It's just sometimes the newer ones who are somebody's being a dick, which is not that much, or 2, somebody just isn't aware and they get too excited, and it's pretty much not intentional, you know what I mean? So I'm not really mad at those. We all, it is what it is. We get excited. What am I going to do? Be mad at you for being excited? Thoughts and opinions and predictions in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.